Welcome to Keep Trucking Personal, where we invite you to explore the heart and soul of our company, Kivi Bros Trucking. Through engaging storytelling, insightful market updates, and vibrant energy, our podcast reflects our culture, values, and achievements. Whether you're a team member or industry enthusiast, join us to build connections, foster growth, and inspire excellence. Discover why we're more than just a company. We're a community, a catalyst for positive change, and a home for those aspiring to be part of something extraordinary. The pre-trip is complete and engines ready. We're set to hit the road on the Keep Trucking Personal podcast. Let's go.
Welcome back to Keep Trucking Personal. I want to kick things off with a story that brings me back quite a few years to when we got a call to move a mid-40s, so it was 40 truckloads for a crane from New Jersey and Pennsylvania back to Minneapolis. And so this crane was being brought to Minneapolis to build the new Minnesota Vikings stadium. When I was getting into that and the quoting, I was really excited to have that opportunity to move a crane. Growing up and being based in Duluth, Minnesota, there's not a lot of big cranes or big needs for cranes. So when I was always working up there, I didn't get to move a lot of crane parts. And that was just something that fascinated me. That was something that I wanted to be involved with. So when we got the opportunity to move this crane, 40 some loads on Kivi trucks, this was not using a brokerage or anything. This was asset based. They wanted our trucks on it. They wanted good service and they wanted it done right. And it was overwhelming because we, as a trucking company, always came to that job with always a can-do attitude, right? So we took on the job. Preparation goes in. We started talking about when and where, and we're going to stage these loads because not only do we pick up the crane in multiple spots out east, we had to deliver it in sequence so they could build the crane on site in the stadium. So you just didn't get to show up and deliver at will. You had to have it scheduled. So at this time, like I said, several years ago, we're quite nimble. We're a small trucking company. 40 some loads is a lot for a small trucking company. That was a big deal. I mean, we were grinding. And I just remember sitting in the office and Derek was out of the office for some reason. And I was like, I'm overwhelmed. I was just trying to make sure that we delivered, having these meetings with these large clients and their customers and talking through the building the crane and the sequencing. And it was a lot. It was super, super exciting when that was done. And we got to see the crane built inside the stadium as they're building the new Viking stadium, and to just have that sense of accomplishment. It was just such a big monumental crane move at that time. And the reason I'm telling this story is just recently we moved another large crane the opposite direction from the Midwest to Staten Island, New York. As with any crane, they're already a very sensitive commodity. You have to be very careful with securing them and the way you load them and placement on the trailer and many things. Many of you know what that's all about. But going to Staten Island made this a whole nother level of challenge. So, you got multiple loads. You have to deliver it appropriately in a very small confined area. Congestion was high as Staten Island, New York. The permitting on this one was super unique because we had to have escorts and we had to have cross bridges at certain times and we had to bring in our superloads in the dark. New York wants those moves done when traffic is at its least capacity. So you're not coming in at peak 7, 8 o'clock trying to get in there in rush hours in full force. And it was just something else again, a high level of stress. You have to perform. There's no room to miss the mark. These are just exciting, but high pressure moves. And if you're listening and you were a part of that, you know what I'm talking about. It was just, we had staging lots and there was many people in the back end working. And it took a full week of planning to get this put together just because of the delivery location. It was very complex and tight and coordinating it and meetings. It just brought me back to those moves. When you're done with them, you can sit back and you're just like, wow, that was a big deal. And it was a lot of work and you can pat yourself on the back and it feels good. And once it's done, it's like you breathe. You're like, okay, I'm ready for the next one. But that whole week leading up, the whole week during the move, just high stress. I was very focused on making sure that we delivered a high level of service as our customers want. Super interesting to just how those crane moves are something that I always remember. You never forget about those. They're always at the tip of your tongue. And that one where it was 40 loads several years back, and now more recent in the mid 20s going to Staten Island. So very, very similar in nature of what the commodity was, but each had their own unique challenges, and those are what you build your experience on. And I want to talk about this last week. I had led up to it on the previous episode talking about I'd be speaking at the North Carolina Trucking Association and representing the Keep Trucking Personal podcast, Kivi Bros Trucking, and just the tenacity that this company brings and the feedback that I had. Taking all the feedback and distilling it down into a simple concept is there is not going to be one magical moment in the trucking industry where rates shoot back up, or when capacity balances, or when anything and everything gets easy. This is going to be a challenged market probably for quite some time yet. Nobody has that crystal ball. And that's the same that I was talking about last week. I was very, very optimistic that 2025 was going to be a pivotal moment and it was going to change. The election, everybody just had that momentum. The market had been depressed for a couple of years. So coming into 2025 and then how it kind of stayed flat and actually decreased in some months has made everybody kind of go, what do we do? Like, how do you get through this? How do you weather the storm in the trucking industry? Because it's just so complex and so unique, and everything is a dog-eat-dog world. So the takeaway is there is no silver bullet that's going to fix this market. Every company is going to have to get very unique in what they do. Or in concept, you're not going to have one silver bullet. You're going to have 300 lead bullets. And that means doing 100 things right day in and day out, executing every day over and over, not giving up just because the market feels tough. You have to find ways to succeed in the current weather. And smooth seas never made a skilled sailor. That's very true here. You're going to come into this and you're going to have to fight. You're going to have to glove up and get ready for war, because that's what it is. And that's what we're doing. And so at Kivi Brothers, we've started doing this, and we started doing this a while ago. And we made a conscious decision to avoid chasing those shiny things. That's from experience. I've learned my lesson myself from experience. I was the one that was always like, this will fix it. Buy this or do this and flip it real quick from a technology standpoint. And honestly, this is, like I said, this is a blocking and tackling market right now. You need to get in, buckle down, and focus on what works and how do we execute better. And for us, that means pre-planning loads. So drivers are always moving. We're going to keep focusing on that basic discipline. Get better at pre-planning. So the driver knows what he has in front of him. He can start to plan his next trip, and we can maximize your earnings and miles. Those two go hand in hand by staying efficient. So we're going to pre-plan you. We're going to get more disciplined on our lanes and our network, but it's as simple as pre-planning to maximize your earnings and miles. And then the other little piece that is an opportunity in the trucking industry is to communicate better. Now you might say, why? That doesn't even seem, that's entry level stuff. And it's not. The trucking industry is plagued with communication. And I'm not saying that we're perfect at it, but I know that that's the opportunity to take this company, to take any standard you have with a customer and raise the bar and communicate and over communicate. And that's how you can be better than the rest of the industry. It's that easy. Communicate, focus on it, talk to your customers, talk to your drivers, let them know what's going on, and be very transparent, and you can persevere. And it's because the market right now is just like hunting. You eat what you kill. And if you're not trucking and if you're not putting in the work, nothing is going to just appear. So you have to do the work. The hard work is the answer here. Do the little things and do it right. Another big takeaway from the meeting was safety. And that message is profound and simple. If you're not treating safety as the top priority, you're pursuing wrong things. You're pursuing the wrong things. It's as simple as that. And I talk about it often, right? The foundation of this podcast is to build a better truck driver, to build a better trucking company. You have to do that through safety. And that's why we partnered with Motive. And that's why we made the changes we did, was to make sure that we over deliver. You have to focus on that. If you're going to be disciplined in a market where rates are constrained, you have to save money, and saving money is the foundation, right? That's how you have to do it in here. And being a safe driver, avoiding claims, avoiding injuries, all of that is expensive. It's costly. It's time consuming, and you can't run a sound business if you're not safe. So that's one of the big takeaways. And I just felt kind of like reassured that we were on the right path. I know everybody talks about safety in this industry, and that it seems like a cliche, but I was very, very pleased to hear that. And so as a driver, when you think of safety and how you arrive, it's not just having your safety vest on. This is a mindset, right? It's an attitude, and it's the way you secure a load, the way you handle your inspections, even the way you present yourself on the job site. This is all part of our reputation, and it all plays into the safety. You have to have that hat on all the time and think like that. And that goes both ways. This is for office staff even as well. Speed and communication are key. We have to be disciplined in getting information to our drivers or our customers to make sure that we have high level of communication, because that actually improves safety. If you, as a driver, know what you're getting into, you know what's ahead of you, you know where you're traveling to, you can start to pre-plan that on as far as a route, and you can understand where to park and how to get into this location and avoid the little ticky-tack things that pile up. And that goes same for a truck stop, right? If you plan ahead and you have started early and you're parked early, the odds of having a truck stop incident go down substantially. So it plays into every part of this business. It's not just on the driver. The office staff has just as much accountability. Maintenance has just as much accountability. It takes everyone to make an impact. And kind of the summarized concept from what I had learned at this North Carolina Trucking Association, which, by the way, was a great event, large, very well run. I was super impressed. I felt like they set the standard for these type of meetings and gatherings of trucking leaders and how they put it together. So super excited. Congratulations to them and how they do it. But the beauty in everything here is simplicity. And this isn't about reinventing the wheel. It's about doing the fundamentals and doing it better than everyone else. So it's kind of a wash, rinse, repeat concept. Get your habits built, get your processes disciplined, get those very disciplined, and get it ready to roll out so you can do it over and over and over again, and it's clear and transparent, and you can communicate, you can pre-plan, you can maximize the miles, and you can do the job right. Wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. Every great company out there is built on this reputation. Do the small things with excellence, and the big wins will follow. It's as simple as that. And it's just like moving that 40-load crane. We didn't have a secret formula. We had high-quality drivers. We communicated well and often. Our permits were on point, and our equipment was very sound. So everyone who worked together on that allowed us to get it done safely. And execution is everything. So, guys and gals, the hardest part of this job isn't the driving or logistics. It's the decisions we have to make. And so when freight's slow, where do we focus our energy? How can you help both ways maximize the opportunities we have? And that's how I want to look at this, as an opportunity. So hard work allows us to have more opportunities. When I was in boxing, my coach used to always say, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And when I put that into perspective, that plays out everywhere. You have to put hard work in, and it's going to allow you to get luckier. It's as simple as that. You have to have that mindset that it will come. It will come to you. So work hard. Work hard. And there's no substitute for hard work. Really, there isn't. That's just the basics of it. That's what bootstrapping is. You got to get dirty and you got to get in it and just do it over and over, because the success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. And trucking is exactly that. There's no secret hack. There's no shortcut. Just doing the job well again and again and again. So take pride in every single mile you have. Stay professional and be ready for that opportunity to come. But know that it's not going to just be one silver bullet. It's not going to be one load that changes your trajectory. It's going to be multiple over and over and over again, and doing it well over and over and over again. And that's the same for the office staff. Communicate better than you think you ever have, and support your drivers and think fast and act faster. Work on your toes. Gotta be ready to react and focus on the basics and master them. And this market may not turn around tomorrow, but if we stick to these fundamentals, we will come out stronger. So let's keep trucking personal. Let's keep trucking professional, and let's keep trucking forward. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Keep Trucking Personal. We appreciate you taking the time to explore the heart and soul of Kivi Brothers Trucking with us. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review to let us know your thoughts. Tune in next time as we continue our journey together, diving deeper into what makes us a community, a catalyst for positive change, and a home for those who aspire to be part of something truly extraordinary. Until then, keep trucking, and we'll catch you on the next episode.